Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. There was a very, very impressive card from Mexico on Friday night, and it was headlined by a terrific little all-Mexican war between BRAYAN ZAMARRIPA and Angel Fierro. And Fierro went into the fight with, he was definitely the favourite, and I think this was in his hometown. This is Fierro, 21 wins with 17 KOs, 1 defeat and 2 draws. The defeat was a majority 8-round decision to a guy called Alex Martin back in 2020. But he really is one of those heavy-handed pressure fighters, and he was definitely favoured to beat BRAYAN ZAMARRIPA, who came in with 13 wins, only 4 KOs, 1 defeat, and the defeat was like a technical 5-round decision early on in his career, 2016, against a guy who at the time was undefeated. He's 26 years old, ZAMARRIPA, and that's compared to 25 years of age for Fierro. But Fierro, despite their very, very similar records, or not so much the record, but very similar ages, dimensions and so on, there was no doubt Fierro was expected to win this fight. Now, he won a split decision. One guy had it 96-94 for Fierro. One guy had it 96-94 for ZAMARRIPA. And the deciding vote went to Fierro 96-95. It was that type of fight. I had it 96-94 for ZAMARRIPA. I thought the guy who actually lost should have won it. But it was a tough, tough fight. And the first 3 rounds, first of all, the styles were very contrasting. You got ZAMARRIPA very, very busy, on the back foot, not running, but, bang, 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 peppering with the jab, using his legs to sort of stay out of trouble, to constantly keep Fierro resetting. Fierro, very, ominous from the word go, moving after the guy, cutting the ring off, putting on that, that mental pressure as well as the physical pressure. But it did take him a few rounds to get his engine running and to get the range and to get his hands moving. And I gave the first 3 rounds to ZAMARRIPA. The 4th was closer. You could give it to either man, in my opinion. But certainly in the 5th, it looked like Fierro was getting much, much closer. And I think it was either the 5th or the 6th, definitely the 6th, the blood started flowing from ZAMARRIPA, and you thought, okay, the pressure's taking its toll. This is a 10-round fight where, let's say the 6th round, I think, the blood started flowing in the 6th round, so there's another 4 rounds to go, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Fierro should take over at this point and, close the show. And even if he doesn't stop ZAMARRIPA, you can expect a decision win. A relatively, competitive, but nevertheless, reasonably clear-cut decision win. However, in the 7th round, the very first punch that ZAMARRIPA threw, bear in mind, this guy's only got 4 KOs from 13 wins. It was a punch to the body, a left hook to the body, a legitimate one. Definitely, they played the replay in slow motion. It definitely landed in the right place. And he was hurt, Fierro. He was badly hurt. And his arms dropped. He retreated, although, he was in a lot. The body language completely changed from this ominous move forward pressure fighter to a guy who really didn't know what he was, didn't know how to ride out the storm. He did do it. ZAMARRIPA, at one point, he had Fierro in the corner. He was peppering him with sort of long, straight punches. Very much a sort of, they're almost like levers coming out with ZAMARRIPA. Very, very few hooks. Or he fires hooks up close, but he likes a bit of range to get his work done. And he was pinging Fierro around the ring for about the first 2 minutes, and then maybe he punched himself out a little bit. But Fierro, actually, I gave him the last minute of that round because he did come on quite strong. And he was punching back, and it was a terrific round, that 7th. Really, really good round. One of the best rounds I've seen all year. in the 8th round well, I would say the 8th and the 9th, certainly the 8th round, Fierro then took the initiative again, and I thought he won the 8th. I think I gave the 9th to Zamarripa and then the 10th to Fierro. But this was a terrific back and forth battle, and very contrasting styles. But I thought Bryan Zamarripa had done enough to win at the end of it. I would have given him the decision, but it wasn't meant to be. He lost a split decision, and one of the cards was only by 1 point. He left the ring, obviously very upset, feeling he'd won, and he was in the other guy's backyard, his hometown. So I suppose these things happen and so on, home cooking or whatever you want to call it. But I have to say, afterwards, Fierro was interviewed and the translation was done, and he was, it was a close fight. He's a tough guy, but I think we're ready for the best now. I think we're definitely ready for the big boys now. This is a guy these were lightweights, by the way, and I know that Devin Haney's moving up and the belts are going to become free. I think Fierro, although he does put on some very good pressure, I think clearly punches to the body are his weakness. That's his Achilles heel, if you know, Achilles rib, if you want to call it that. But I think he can be clearly outboxed, clearly outboxed. And Zamarripa did that for huge chunks of this fight. Zamarripa, I don't think he's got anything to worry about too much. He's 26, so he's got plenty of time. He can come back. A lot of the people in the hometown, in Fierro's hometown, were booing, actually. There were some boos. So they thought Zamarripa won as well. But this was a very, very arduous, gruelling tussle between two tough Mexicans with very contrasting styles. And the whole card in Mexico, this was on DAZN. It was on Friday night, so that's Saturday morning if you're in the UK. The whole card was good. It had a lot of good stuff on it. So yeah, go and have a look at it and tell me what you think. Who do you think won this fight? I want to know your opinion and why you think they won it. What did you favour one over the other for? Just let me know, okay? But yeah, really good stuff. This was good stuff, really, really, really good stuff. Anyway, let me know your opinions. I'll answer them, of course. I'll have a read of them. I always like doing that. And subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit the like button. That'll be a great help for us. Build the channel up. Build Joe Stunner Boxing up. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your weekend. And yeah, I'm looking forward to reading what you've got to say. And bye for now.